This is my 1985 Dodge Ramcharger two-wheel drive automatic. Originally come with a 318 two-barrel. Pretty good truck. The body's pretty straight and everything. Do a walk around on this. So it still has the factory style wheels on it. Most of the trim. I think I have that in storage, so I can get those. It's in a little bit of neglected condition, but I'm going to fix that. It's broken, and that's what I try to do, is take something that's broken and make it better. So pretty straight. There is some body damage on it. All the interior needs redone. I started it. Got a cluster of stuff in here. I want to go with a little bit newer style seat and do more of this gray and red, flat red interior. So I have done some work on this. I've cleaned the floorboard up and did primer on it to try to preserve it. I knew it was going to be a while before I got to it. Done a little bit of gauge work, some cluster work. That's kind of the theme I'm going to go with right there. Look at it from the other side and maybe I'll look a little better. I do have the grill. I just have it off because I just put a engine in it that I'm going to keep in here. So this is the driver's side. Pretty much everything it needs. Door seals, redone door panels. I may do some custom work on that. So still got the factory cluster in here. I've done a little triple gauge kit up in there. Trying to work with the bezel that I have is a little bit mangled there. So one thing that is going to be going away is that pedal there. It's going to be changed out for 2 pedals. Okay, underhood area. This was a AC vehicle that's inoperable now, but that's one of the things that I'll fix up. I want to do more of a cruiser on this. So anyone who's pretty astute will notice that is not a 2-barrel 318. Got the 2-barrel right, but it's lacking 2 cylinders. So this is a slant 6 that I built a number of years ago, and it served me pretty good as a daily driver engine. I was fixing the exhaust manifold and fixed it so good I couldn't use it anymore, so I went with these Clifford headers in the meantime. So I have it in here. It does move. It still needs some work. So the slant 6 is back running with a new coil on it. I cleaned my spark plugs. They were fouled out from what I think was the last coil. I'm still trying to determine if this MSD box is any good or not. I know by the book you're supposed to be able to check the cross spark and all that, but they don't tell you if it worked under load. So that's what I'm trying to figure out now. I have this condition where I give it throttle and it acts like the accelerator pump don't work, or the timing's lazy or something. I'm getting some of the drivability issues completed on the Ramcharger. Once I get that done, I can go through and clean up this wiring mess we got here. As well as get the frog out of my throat too. So I troubleshot some of that. It's running a lot better. It starts now. It was doing the whole crank and not getting fire and start, and as soon as I put it to run, it try to fire off. So now that I can get it to start, I got a power steering leak, and I'm trying out the Lucas power steering stop leak. Someone suggested that, and I'm not much on doing a stop leak, so I'd rather fix it. However, my power steering unit down there, that's what's leaking, and those aren't cheap. And there's no way to fix the seal with it in the truck, so I have to remove it. But let's see if we can see this down here. Well, you can see the drip. It's instant. As soon as I put some more of the fluid in it, it immediately, there it goes, immediately started dripping as soon as fluid hits it. So we'll see how this Lucas stuff does. Might take a couple days. I'll just come out and start it every day and make sure it's topped off on fluid and see what we get. Finally getting to the root of some of the problems of why this engine doesn't run good inside the Ramcharger here. And what I found out is the distributor's vacuum advance, that's this little pod right here, leaks. It has a rubber diaphragm in it, and it leaks down, so I'm not getting any advance. I think there might be some other issues with the distributor with the magnetic pickup, which is this little part right here. This rotates around, and you can see the little teeth. When they come around, it tells it when to fire. I think that might be malfunctioning there. I've already set the gap in it, the air gap, so it should work right, and it doesn't. So what I've done is I've made a mark where the rotor is pointing at, that black mark on the block right there. That way whenever I go to put the other distributor in, my timing's set right. There's also that little tab all the way down with the bolt right there. I'm going to mark that position as well, because that metal tab, that adjustment tab, doesn't come with a new distributor. I'll have to replace that with the old one, so I want to make sure I get it all lined up right. I'm tearing apart my little Carter BBD2 carburetor. This is the one that come off the Super 6 Slant 6. This is identifiable by the little curved piece here. If it was a 318 one, that would be a straight piece on it. So good little carburetor. Don't know the exact year they come out with it, but this is the BBD2, the second version of it, which is greatly improved. I think they use a variant of this on the Jeeps. So I got it on the Ramcharger right now with the Slant 6. So I'm just pulling apart. I'm going to check the floats on it. It should be a pretty good running carburetor. I already checked the accelerator pump, and it squirts gas out pretty good. I want to make sure I don't have dirt or anything down in it. Then put it back together after I set the floats and throw it back on. Okay, so I have my Carter BBD2 carburetor pulled off the Slant 6 and the Ramcharger. And I knew there was some throttle slop in here. Let's see if I can show this. If you look right around the edge here, you should be able to see how much slop that has. So that's entirely too much slop. So I checked one of my other carburetors and my other BBDs that I had in storage, and it's not as bad, but it's not good enough to do a base plate swap on. So that pretty much is the end of this carburetor unless I can find another base plate. Might be able to go in and repair this and knurl it and put bushings in it, but in the end it's a 2-barrel carburetor. So I don't think I'm going to put that much effort into it. So what I have here is I got this from my neighbor. He did a 4-barrel conversion to his 318, and this is a little Holley 2280. It's about the same CFM as my BBD2. So he kind of set it out for a little bit, so I'm just going through it and make sure it's all clean and everything, throwing a rebuild kit in there. It's actually a pretty good piece, and the throttle shaft is good and tight on it. That's actually what went wrong on my little BBD2, is the throttle shaft wore out, and it's sucking air past the throttle shaft, and it made it just pretty much impossible to tune it. So yeah, I didn't come up with that myself. I gave up on it, and I had a friend of mine come by, and they started looking at it, and we figured it out after a little bit, about 5-10 minutes. We figured out that, or he figured out what was wrong with it. So going to be progress, and hopefully this will do me pretty good until I'm ready to go to that Holley sniper system that I want to put on there.